Have you ever noticed that when you try to make things look normal for a brief second, you'll do some underhanded, yet justifiable acts because the rest of your family won't cooperate like they did the first time? Well, that's what Lincoln found out in the episode I'm going to talk about today. So join me as I, SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. Cue the intro. Today's episode is Picture Perfect. In this episode, Lincoln wants to give his parents a family portrait for their anniversary, but his attempts to take the perfect picture don't go the way he had originally planned. I can sum up this episode in the form of a question. Why can't you cut the guy a break? It was already bad enough Lola let it slip how all of Lincoln's previous anniversary gifts, homemade coffee mugs, got placed in the attic, which is a very damning indictment about how their mom and dad can feel about their kids giving them presents that come from the heart. But the girls in this episode were so incredibly unlikable. Yes, they did agree to pose for the picture Lincoln originally asked them to, and they looked relatively normal for the first time, and yet they made a big deal about having to take another one. But can you honestly blame Lincoln for wanting to have a do-over? The timer on the camera went off later than expected, and all the girls started acting rowdy before Lincoln could calm them all down, and the result of the first attempt created a literal picture of insanity. Lincoln either had to drag his sisters outside or threatened to withhold some of their things, certain props they weren't even going to use for the first take but somehow decided to use them for the second take, on top of changing their physical appearances, which would have included Lori being replaced by a look-alike named Carol Pingree, and he felt the need to do all of this just for a picture. He wouldn't have had to do any of that stuff had his sisters just cooperated the way they did the first time. I mean, seriously, is it really asking too much to just smile and not act erratic for a few seconds if it means giving a gift to your own parents? Apparently it is, and it also aggravated me when Lori had to ask what was wrong with the first picture they took. I'm like, you can't be serious. Lincoln said he wanted to take the perfect picture and thought everyone being themselves would ruin the image, although he's technically not wrong for saying it. In turn, the girls all decided to intentionally sabotage Lincoln's gift by putting on either extremely fake or apprehensive smiles, and yet Lincoln thought the new picture turned out good. However, he started regretting it after he saw how much happier his sisters looked as they were playing around the house compared to what was captured on the camera. That's when he decided to give his parents the first picture he took, and although the girls tried to chew him out for giving out the wrong picture, they ended up thanking him in a loving way when he said he gave them the right one featuring the real and perfect versions of themselves. I guess the ending was okay because the parents placed the picture up on the mantle and it remains there in future episodes like Ties That Bind. Lincoln learned the lesson that you're perfect in your own way no matter how crazy, but the lesson doesn't really stick too well given everything that led up to the final scene. The girls never really reflected upon why Lincoln felt he had to retake the picture and how maybe their actions contributed to his somewhat antagonistic way of getting things done the second time. Basically, the story tried to make Lincoln look like he was the only character in the wrong, which, based on visual evidence, couldn't be any further from the truth. Overall, this episode had the right idea to teach the audience how no one in any family is perfect, but the story did a poor job of trying to reinforce that message. It tried to portray Lincoln as the only bad guy, and it wanted the audience to feel sorry for the girls even though it should be the opposite. Lincoln wouldn't have had to venture into bad guy territory had his sisters not been so selfish and just agreed to take another picture in the non-dysfunctional manner they did before and not throw a fit about it. We don't even see what gifts the girls were going to give their parents, so we never have the opportunity to see if Lincoln worked harder on his gift compared to the others. If there's one more thing I can say, it would be just because an episode was made under Chris Savino's supervision, it doesn't always mean the final product is going to be good, and this episode was really not that good. With that said, I give Picture Perfect a 5 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Picture Perfect. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.